back in the office with another special guest, with Miss Sarah, that we all love because of her love for these poor animals. She's the famous one that goes on the weekends to Medley and got a lot of beds from donations, right?
I did. I did.
So thank you so much for coming, because I know it was like a long drive, right?
Thank you for having me. It's okay. Anything for them.
You're very passionate with these animals, with these poor dogs. So you're going to tell us a little bit of what happened with the shelter, any updates with the shelter?
Any updates? Like
with after the budget meeting?
No. I asked for somebody to reach out to me and they never did.
They never did?
Mm-mm. And that was at the budget meeting. This person actually followed me out from the shelter and said they'd be in contact and never did.
Never did. That sucks. That sucks. Because I know you're so passionate about it.
Yeah. I feel like I should be able to get them out and touch them, love them, educate people on, and show them the difference between inside their cell, outside. You know, they need to be washed down, like their eyes. I can't even, wipe their eyes. So my initial Amazon wish list, I had, waterless wash and big towel wipes, throwaway wipes. And I was so excited. I vlogged this whole thing. So on my reels on my Instagram, just me, that's her. No, just me _ that's her. I vlogged it and I was so excited. That's all. I was going through loops and hoops, the orientation, the training to become a volunteer, the shadow work, and and taking that drive. And I just feel like it's not right. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I have to speak to them through their cells and give them treats, and I can't even touch them, and I don't like that. You said, it's my passion, it's my heart.
You get emotional talking about it.
I do, because they need to be wiped down and washed down, and when I see the gook in their eyes and all, and knowing how excited, but then I always have to bring myself and ground myself and say to myself, I am meant to be a bigger voice than I was able to be when I was a volunteer, because I was warned and I took it as a threat about my social media the day they said I was a volunteer, right after.
So you weren't a volunteer. You would just go on the weekends.
Yeah, correct, for months. So then
and then you decided you wanted to do more, so you wanted to become a volunteer, right? And then when we started speaking up, you were the ones that comment, and we shared the budget meeting stuff, and then you got terminated because of that.
Yeah, I got terminated. I made a comment on that on the 4th, and I made one on the 3rd. And it was both in reference to the budget.
The commissioner was asking in the budget meeting, the first budget meeting, 1.5, if they're really using it for social media. Mm-hmm. I screenshot that clip because obviously who has been following the shelter or has been following you guys, the volunteers, we know they're not doing the right job, right? Mm-hmm. So when you comment, and I don't know if you reshared the video too, then you got the next day, while you're getting ready to go to the shelter, termination.
Right. So on September 2nd, everything was fine. I had correspondence via email with the volunteer department lining up that weekend. I think it was the 8th and the 9th. So this was on the 2nd when they got back from Labor Day weekend. 24 hours later, which was the 3rd, I left the comment. Then on the 4th, I think that's when you posted the budget meeting, I left another comment. Heather Keenan drew up the document of termination 24 hours after my first comment, but it was sent after 24 hours after the one I left under your post.
Did you ever send them an email asking why?
I did.
And?
Nothing.
They haven't answered?
No.
Have you called?
They don't answer.
Yes, they do answer. They have 4 people that answer the phones.
Oh no, I have ample proof, and I can probably gather a lot more if need be that they don't answer. This lady's been trying to adopt a dog for 2 weeks now, 3 weeks, and I went silent because this is a lot, and I do have to juggle my daytime job and my dog's my son, But yeah, you have to go in person, and when you go in person, that even consumes Hours.
I think we saw a complaint of someone, or it was you.
I wasn't complaining. People were complaining on the
There was
post.
other people in the post that were complaining, but you didn't complain.
Right.
You said it did happen to me. Like the paw venture, it wasn't like a 10-minute thing to pick up a dog. It was a long process.
Well, I vlogged it. So again, I vlog everything. So you guys really should follow me. But I vlogged it. I make reels. They take like 3 hours to make with all my edits. Even though I'm getting better. But I vlogged it. So I was just like, hey, come with me to do a paw venture. And, I just went through the whole process. And people, when I was given the timestamps,
yes,
they went crazy. And, other people were saying the same thing happened to me. I watched a lady leave, like, it's disheartening. Another guy, he had a 9 o'clock a.m. appointment. He was there with his 2 daughters for a paw venture. And it was noon, like almost 12:30 when they finally took him to the vet.
Yeah. And I went to the shelter this week actually, and it looks the same. The only difference I did see now is that when you walk in, they have like a sign front and back with dogs and their IDs already.
Which shelter?
The Doral one.
Okay.
That's the only difference I saw. There's two signs, and then there's one that's only in the front, but then there's another sign that's front and back. And they have dogs with their codes, with their IDs to scan it. Mm-hmm. But that's the only difference I saw. I walked all the way. Everything looks the same. I didn't see anything. I did notice that everything was wet. Like, it looked like it rained inside. It was all wet. And I did see a lot of kennels empty. But I did see a few dogs, big dogs in small kennels. In the front, I saw a German, I think she's a mixed German Shepherd. She was in a kennel, a very tiny kennel. And then in the sides, I did see like a bulldog kind of dog in a kennel that I think she was too big for the kennel. But after the budget meeting, the second budget meeting, that I thought we were going to see some difference or something different or a press release, something. I haven't seen. Have you seen anything differently?
I have not. And you will not, because you have to have persistence. You have to really have persistence. And yeah, it takes a community, but at the end of the day, it's like I have the community, I feel like. I really do. And I feel like I could be the one being very persistent and demand answers. That's what my daytime job entails. Like, I have to be very persistent. I don't stop. Like, I won't take no. Yeah. I need to know, like, at least why. Like, and who's, the person I need to get in contact with.
Well, the only change was that I think I mentioned to you that another change that we're going to do. Someone called me on Sunday to tell me that the Medley office, the shelter, was going to be open Monday to Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. That's great.
To the public.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, but my thing is, statistically, and they even made a post on Miami-Dade, Adopt Miami Pets, Instagram, about how the lobby ones should be, one of the time the busy days of the week, it was no one there. And that's the weekend. So why statistically would you take, they already don't get traffic, but Sunday, a weekend day, away from...
Yeah, they should open every day.
Yes, and if you want to take a day, then you need to take like maybe a Wednesday or something, but not a Saturday and Sunday, because that's when people have off and people are traveling. Like, people up north comes down here to help the dogs. So if you're working 40 hours a week, you only have Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense. Again, like, the policies don't make sense. When I went, what I had noticed is, clearly they've been watching my social media.
They've been watching every social media.
And so when the dogs, and I was explaining the high cortisol and the dogs are going crazy in one of my reels, and I was showing like why I believe Medley is like a 5-star resort compared to Doral. I had to show, people, because they think I'm crazy. Like, no AC, it floods in 10 minutes. What are you talking about? Yeah, I can only stomach 20 dogs. That's one alphabet letter. My first time going in there, I was not prepared at all.
No Doral?
Oh yeah.
Why do you always say that? Why do you always say that the Medley shelter is better than the Doral?
Okay, first off, they had a full run, okay? Second of all, I'm big on energy, and I can feel the love. Like, I can actually feel, like, the employees there, like, have a soul. You know?
And the medley.
Yeah, majority, correct.
And the cows are bigger too.
The runs, correct. When you go over to Durrell, you see dogs that are pushed up right on each other. And you're talking about bullies and German Shepherds and big dogs, right? And they're going crazy. They're just jumping up and down, and they're just spinning and barking, jumping up and down. You look at the walls. I have footage. The walls, they're digging the walls. There's so many of them that they say, allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, every dog at Durrell every day gets out at least one time. Okay?
For less than 10 minutes.
I'm telling you, every time that I've been at Durrell, it is in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. It is not 10 minutes. Hurry up, peep, poop, in. Okay? You know they're not getting the bare minimum. You know, they don't have a bed. They're not being able to release themselves. There's dogs that have been literally holding it all day. You can tell, like, they're, you know, getting anxious. They have no pee or poop, but it says potty trained. And people will walk right by them and don't pay them any mind just to do other dogs, you know. And I brought it to people's attention. Some of them have a blue dot, and nobody's capable of walking these dogs. A blue dot, meaning the dog is reactive, unmanageable, hard to handle. And they put out a plea for a blue dot walker, and that's what I actually wanted to do. So that's what I was eager from day one. My very first email to them, I was like, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I know I can handle it. Like, this is me all day. I can make the whole shelter quiet. You see that?
Yeah. Well, you did a video this weekend that the dogs were like, I think they were calling you. You were in the parking lot.
Yeah, because it started raining.
You were in the parking lot, and you're like, oh, the dogs are really loud. I think they smell you that you're there. And then when you got there and you left, you did another video, and it was super quiet.
Yeah, so that's what they do. I vlog everything, but I don't want to make my content like redundant because people get bored. You know, we're Americans, and you got to keep their attention.
No, but I think anything with animals will never get boring.
Okay, people literally start vlogging every Saturday and Sunday. But
I'm like all day looking. I'm obsessed with donkeys and little mini donkeys and little cows. So I'm always looking at those videos. I'm like, one day I'm gonna have my farm with all these animals.
It's a dream. Yeah. But it makes me feel so good. Like, at the end of the day, because you go to shelters, you know, the madness, right? Mm-hmm. It's crazy. And they're outside, so you can hear it all the way to my car. The very first time, you know, that I posted it, it was just crazy. And I had my DMs were going crazy. Like, how did you just do that to the old shelter? Who are you? It was so many people. But at the end of the day, like, they feel the love. I show consistently. I would be there every single day if I could, you know. But back to what I see different, the fact that with Durrell, again, they have roaches, like, so the roaches are crawling around them. They still have them. I just went this past Saturday, and they were feasting during the day. But just all the craziness, I just feel like their mental health is way better at Medley, and that's why, like I said, like, in a collective, that's what it boils down to. Their mental health is way better at Medley, and that's important because look at your situation. It's pretty crappy, you know?
Yeah.
And not too many people know the real or, like, really pay attention because it's not their passion. A lot of people think I'm crazy. Like, get weirded out.
Why?
Weirded out crazy. Because I go hard for them.
No, you're just very passionate. You're just very passionate. You can tell from a mile away your passion. What do you feel? What do you think about the new shelter they're doing?
Oh, I think it's going to be a disaster.
Really?
I do. It's in Homestead, and Homestead is known for dog dumping. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's going to house 500 dogs. So right now, Durrell at max should only house 350 at max. So if they're at almost triple capacity right now at Durrell, okay, and using Medley, sick ward, and overflow station, can you imagine they'll have if they're doing copy paste what they're doing now, they're gonna have triple because the intake's gonna be way higher. It's gonna be less people willing to drive north to south, all the way to Hempstead to adopt a dog. You know?
Yeah.
Everybody's just gonna use that place to dump the pet. That's it, that's all. And there's no solution. And that's why I feel like it's imperative. Like, I wanna be on all the agendas, you know, that when the shelter's brought up and it's a big deal, like I don't care, I will go to every and anything that pertains to them. Everything. You know, I drive no traffic, an hour and like 15 minutes, 4 months. I have to move back here, so like this way.
I don't know why they never made the Melly shelter bigger or make it just like a shelter already. Because they have all that green. I don't know if you ever been to the side. Mm-hmm. They have all that green all the way onto the turnpike. It is. I don't know if that's a turnpike or 836, whatever. But all that green, they could have done something about it. They could have done something.
I mean, they don't even have air conditioning. They didn't even have beds. You know.
But if they're already using it as a shelter, they should have done it already as a shelter.
Correct.
Close it down, fix it, to put the ACs, close it, and then use the green. I don't know. It's just me talking out on.
Yeah, but they don't care. That's the issue. They don't care, and nobody oversees like where this money's actually going. Mm-hmm. You understand? So if you could get somebody, an outsider, somebody that's very passionate, you know, do a real audit and actually be in charge of the monies and where it's going, because $43 million is a lot of money. They're trying to cut $1 million here, $1 million there at the budget meeting. You understand? Like $700,000 here. We're talking $43 million, and they
taxpayer money.
Correct. One of the highest in the U.S. too. Mm-hmm. And they just, nobody oversees them, you know. And they say pets are property. Well, then why are you spending $2 million for education, you know, or whatever you're spending, you know, or training behaviorists a year, like out of the monies, if they're just property? Why are you giving them medicine? That's what's different about Darrell. I keep getting sidetracked. That I noticed they were really groggy. That's what I've noticed.
They'll draw?
Correct, yeah. So, yeah, I noticed they were really groggy. That's the difference. That I noticed. And so 3 weeks ago, that's the difference between employees that don't care and advocates and regular civilians and volunteers that do. They notice the dog's character traits, you know, how they are, just who they are, you know. And I noticed one little dog 3 weeks ago, and I have it all on video. And I'm talking to him, and I'm like, what's wrong, little guy? Like, and I started getting really, like, nervous for him. You know, he was just frozen the way he looked. He couldn't move, like, just his eyes, like, glazed. I didn't know if he was having, like, you know, them quiet seizures. You can actually have one where you freeze. And wasn't sure. And I talked to him for a good, like, 5 minutes until, you know, saw somebody and they checked on him. But via medical records, they gave him stuff to calm him down. But that was way too much. And so when I went to Darrell Saturday, all those dogs, the stench was unbearable, just like the lady said last week. When she left a comment last week, the lady, and she said she went to Broward County to adopt instead because the stench was unbearable. That's where I left off with my speech, and they cut me. The air was acidic. You know, she said it was so sad. The dogs were so sad, and that clicked in my head. And I'm like, so sad. I went correlate, going crazy, jumping up and down, the barking and all, sad. Like, so that, and, you know, like, I wasn't sure what she meant by that. And I knew the stench. And she, you know, said the people were rude. They didn't greet them. Maintenance was deplorable. This is what this lady said. And she drove down to Broward. But when I went in there, the stench, yes. But all the kennels were clean. So, just my opinion only, I feel like all those dogs have been medicated. And it is public record, so, you know.
You requested the medical record?
Okay, so I work full time. I have to get all the IDs. I think I might just start doing a batch of like 5 at a time, but it took me like a month to get just 2 things I requested. So, either way, I want to backdate it anyway, you know. But my opinion, I feel like that's the thing right now, and that's why all the dogs appear sad. And if that's that's the case, you got to think when they leave, that's when they're going to the bathroom and they come in and all the dogs pee and poop. Why would it smell that bad if there's no pee and poop anywhere? None of them kennels. And like you said, they were all wet. Like, I didn't see that, but none of them came to me. They were just, and they all were whimpering.
But it depends what time you go to. If she went early, like when they open, it smells horrible since you park your car.
I went right after medley. So I don't miss the medley.
I went one time on Sunday before going to church. It was like a couple months ago, and I couldn't even go to church. I had to go home
because it's in your clothes.
It was in my clothes.
Yeah.
And since I got in the parking lot, I'm like, no, they're probably cleaning it because it smells so bad. But if she went early in the morning, the smell's horrible.
Yeah. So she went, I guess, early, but I didn't. I got there Saturday right before they closed.
I went on a Monday before they closed, and it wasn't dirty at all.
It wasn't.
It looked like they were cleaning it. They looked like it was cleaning because it was wet everywhere. It was wet in the kennels. It was wet in the hallway, so it looked like they were cleaning it. It didn't smell bad at all. It didn't smell. I have to say the truth of the truth. It didn't smell bad. Look, I did notice there was a lot of empty kennels, and there was a lot of big dogs in the side kennels that they were too big for that. So I'm like, okay, if that dog is there, and there's an empty kennel, can that dog go there? Or maybe the dog was outside and I didn't see it. But I did see a lot of big dogs and a couple dogs in the big kennel. But there was a lot of dogs, big dogs. There was like I think a German Shepherd mixed with a Great Dane. Oh my God, it was a monster. It was beautiful though.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad. It makes me sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad too because I want to take them all home. You know, and then it just sucks. You know, I wish they did more to bring more people to get involved. Like when I went and we spoke to the director, I told the director, why don't we do like a food truck party here? You know, half of the volunteers have side jobs. Some of them, like Lotus, does food, organic food for dogs. Let's tell them, you know, to rent the tables for $25. That money will go for the gloves and the food. Because supposedly where they spend the most money is on dog food and gloves. When we spoke to the director. Let's bring food trucks to bring people. Let's bring influencers to get all these animals out. But I'm still waiting for their call.
Yeah, I just feel like that they need to get new people in charge.
So there's space to do events there. There's space there in the sides. Even in the hallway inside, you could do a playpen, bring all the dogs that are in kennels. Put the people like to see how they react. Because when you go to those kennels to adopt a dog, some of them scare you because they're aggressive. They look aggressive. It's just they were dying to leave there. So people don't understand. They're not aggressive. They've just been in the kennel for
24 hours.
24 hours.
Hearing nonstop barking.
Or a week.
Hungry.
Months, years, locked in there. So you're seeing the bad side. But when you take them out, it's another different dogs. Because there's a volunteer that puts it. But there's a video that she puts the dogs acting crazy, and then she talks to the dog, puts the collar, and it's like another dog walking around. So I told them in that hallway, let's put some dogs in the playpen, and they can like at least have, you know, people can see the other side of them. I have a lot of ideas.
Well, like,
but they don't call me.
It's like beating a dead horse, and that's why I'm not gonna stop. There's a problem with this all over the states, and there shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know, it literally, they have to have somebody oversee where the monies are going because dogs can't talk. And as long as you keep having these same people in here, $43 million, and you never thought once, okay, AC, but somebody went from $60,000, Annette Jose, that didn't even have one qualification out of, I think, 5 for the job, went from 60 to 240, 250 in, 4 years?
And doesn't even know her job description.
Yeah, and or the $1.5 million that are paid between 4 employees. Those 4 employees, PR, social media, and education. Names. Correct. Exactly. And it's like where are the funds being allocated? Like I said, and until that changes and laws, dogs aren't property. They shouldn't be property. You know, they're beings, and as long as we have to pay for it, and it's not about the money, I just feel like that they should have a voice, and we are their voice because they can't speak. You know, they always point.
What changes would you like to see in the shelter? If they call you right now and say, "Oh, you're the top 5 volunteers that I picked because you guys are always fighting," what do you think we should do to change the shelter out?
Okay, first and foremost, you would do a whole sweep of everybody that works there. Then they would go through an in-depth screening.
They fire everybody?
I would have to like do an in-depth screening on whoever's going to handle the babies, and work there and oversee and make sure that everything, dollars accounted for, every soul in there gets out, not in a black trash bag, because they get annoyed. These people get annoyed, and it's not the dog's fault, So they need to do a sweep. Clearly, it's soulless, like I said. Also, spay and neuter. Everybody keeps saying, we need more people to foster and adopt. We don't have enough of either. But it's going to be insanity. It's going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. You have to enforce spay and neuter, and I believe, like how they abruptly did me for speeding, it's either I haven't gotten a ticket, but I'm just being on a fast car, and it doesn't feel like I'm doing 100 if I'm doing 100, But they abruptly made a law. Big hefty fine and 30 days in jail if you do 30 miles over the speed limit, or I think 93 or something like that. I don't know, but either way, you hit them in their pockets in jail time. And I feel the same thing with spay and neuter. If you're caught with your dog not spayed or neutered, or you're breeding, it's mandatory $2,500, 30 days jail. It'll stop. People might think that's a little excessive, but it's okay, because so is 800 dogs crammed into a facility that is only meant for 350 dogs. That's excessive. They get nothing. Them dogs in Durrell have nothing. Nothing. The ones at Medley have nothing.
Yeah.
But they're sanity, so that's why I always say Medley. Circle back to that. Yeah, and they got the big runs, like I said. That's really important. But that place, another thing is why I say terminate everybody is because I was silenced. You say the shelters are great, and I countered that, and, I was terminated 24 hours later. So clearly you're putting on a facade. We don't need anybody that doesn't genuinely love and care for them.
Yeah.
Because that facade, they're just property. They don't care, and that's not okay. You wouldn't silence people, like myself.
Yeah.
For stating facts. They would have never said they were doing a great job. The mayor Cobb never said the shelter is being ran great. I wouldn't have countered it. That's why I missed the first budget meeting. I didn't go because of the social media warning. Hence, what I thought threat was a threat. Yeah. So I didn't go to the first. I
didn't get one video of her saying that the shelter was great. I got like 4 or 5 videos of her personally saying the shelter is doing it got an award. Got an award for
great.
It's doing great, and she got an award for being one of the best shelters in Florida.
Well, then I guess I got to visit all the other shelters in Florida.
Yeah.
Make it a whole movement, but yeah.
And then you did an Amazon list. And,
I did.
And you got all these beds. Did you ever thought you were gonna get all these beds?
Honestly, I did not think that it was going to blow up the way it did.
You had to rent a U-Haul and everything.
I did. It took me 12 hours to put them all together. Like, look at my fingers. So
oh my God.
There, but I put them all together, and I had to rent a U-Haul. It took me 12 hours to do them all. And I dropped them off, and it was really, really, really nice. It felt really great. At the end of the day, I want the best for them. And I won't stop. Like, you see my persistence. Yeah. I don't care. My best friend turned 40. And I was late to her birthday, like 3 hours late. And I came smelling like a dog because I just left mentally, But I won't miss a Saturday or Sunday. And like I said, I'm moving here shortly, and I'm never going to stop until there's change.
Yeah, and every time you post that you want dog treats, you get like a bag full of them.
Yeah, so people, they really are supporting. The community's really supporting. They're really supporting of it. Like they all say the same thing. You're so passionate, your genuineness, and like how you're upbeat. And a lot of people are like, I don't know how you could do it. I wish I could be you and do that. And I was that person up until, a few months ago when I first visited Medley. I tried to do the shelter thing, physically go in and be a volunteer, and back in my hometown, and I had to stop because the dog that I loved was euthanized, and I didn't know. I went to go walk it, and it wasn't there. And so I started doing the back end, and I started doing California and Texas, like finding funding, rescues, fosters, whatever, the Skid Row, writing stuff. And then when I saw Medley with the protests and stuff, it was like, hold up. I couldn't sleep. I was on my IG Live and TikTok, and they were like, where are you? People were truly concerned that I dipped off and went to another country. I'm like, I'm in Miami. This is Miami.
This is Miami.
Yeah. And it was like, absolutely not. I don't care if it took me 6 hours. I'm not gonna miss, Saturdays and Sundays with them. And like I said, I won't stop until there's laws and they're not property anymore.
At least I think we are doing a movement, because we're not seeing the results that we want so fast, but I do know there are people working on it. I feel that. I feel like the commissioner spoke about it twice already. So I know there's stuff behind the scene that we're not looking at. I truly believe there will be changes coming soon. I'm praying. I'm praying. The first thing they need to do, unfortunately, they need to fire Annette, Jose, and they need to fire everybody there, and then bring new directors, or even speak with the volunteers. Have the volunteers speak to the directors, have a meeting, like a town hall meeting, and give ideas to each other. But I do honestly feel like the changes will be coming soon.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right too, and I'm not talking crap, but honestly, in my heart, I feel there is changes coming, because there can't be too many evil people. And I always feel, if you treat animals like that, then how you treat your family in the house.
Yes, and I won't believe any changes until I'm made a volunteer again. Honestly, until I'm made a volunteer, I'm not gonna believe anything, because I should be a volunteer. And I watched everything. I never spoke out. I was very neutral. I didn't do certain collaborations with people. Yeah. And I told them why. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to be a volunteer. Yeah. And so, I feel like I need to be a volunteer again.
Yes. They need you. And they smell you already. They know you already. So you had to go. I'm pretty sure they already know Saturday and Sunday she's coming, so they're all happy. Because it's crazy. That video was crazy. I hope we share it for people to see.
I have them from every Saturday and Sunday. I do the same thing. That's what I do. I'll park in the parking lot, but when you're pulling in, you can hear them going crazy.
Yes,
that's the shelter. Okay, so I'll let them go crazy, and I'll walk up, and then they start smelling me, and they'll come, and they're still barking as soon as I hit that gate, and I'm like, babies, I do the same thing. I'm like, I got the treats, and they just run to the front, and it's like a library, like a silence, And I love it. And then they'll yell for me. I have videos where you'll see me feeding the ones on the front, because it's a big circle. Yeah. And so the front and the front have their run, then it's a big gap, and then you can see the ones on the other side. And you'll see them waiting for me. They'll start barking, and I'm like, I see you. I'll talk to them, and they just love that. And then by the time I'm finished, they're all quiet. They all watch me, but some of them cry, and it makes me sad. The little guy that cried stood up Sunday when it started raining, and he stood up, and he just let out that belly cry. I was like, geesh, but yeah.
You're gonna make me cry.
Yeah, it's sad. People say they don't know how to do it, but I do it because I'm not gonna stop. I gotta see it. I gotta live it. I gotta feel it, because that makes me never gonna stop. I see this face because I'm never gonna stop until it's a whole movement. And that's how I do it. And I don't let the baby see me like this. I literally, a few times had to remove myself, and I'll go outside. Just take a breather, and I come back in. Even that day when I recorded, I'm having a hard time today. The day I dropped the beds, I don't know what it was. I was having a really hard time that day. And I had to remove myself for a second. But I refuse to let them feel it and see it. But that's why, and that's how, And I wouldn't be able to do it without the people. I'm not their voice, honestly. The voice is the people that support me on social media and push the content and get it out there, because at the end of the day, I want to be a big part of the law change, in this. So remember my face type thing, But if it wasn't for them, my content goes nowhere, and nobody would have known about the wish list. It wouldn't have had the outpour that it had. I mean, today I just had a lady buy 6 packs. 6 packs. They're $20 a pack.
Oh wow!
And there's only 10 that come in it. Okay, and I had 3. I need 9 packs total to give all the medley babies one. And it takes them about 25 to 30 minutes to get through one chew. And the lady sent me a message today and asked, how many more do I need? And she sent them. So I'm going to be able to give all 88 Medley dogs one of those. And it's so hard to pick when I have a pack of those. It's so hard to pick because it only has 10. Like, who am I going to pick, you know? There's so freaking many.
Yes.
So I just can't wait until they come, because it may not be this weekend, because I want to give them all one at the same time. I do.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. You are amazing. Keep up. I know you get drained. I know you get overwhelmed with it because I've seen the video, but you are God put you in this mission for a reason. And I know He's going to bless you with a handsome boyfriend.
I don't want one. I just need $3.2 million. 4 would be great, but like.
But I know God is watching you, and He will be giving you something special soon.
I just want my rescue.
I know. That's our mission. I just want a farm with my mini cow, my mini donkey, my Stitch, I can't live without him, and then my German Shepherds. No, it's a list. It's
a farm, right?
It's a farm, yes. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
I'm Mexico now.